Say there are more men named Michael or James than there are women leaders in corporate America. So let's look at the facts here. We've got 90% of Fortune 500 CEOs that are men. 76% of C-suite executives are men. We're a long way from reaching parity here. And they say at the rate that we're going to get to pay gender parity and be paid equally is 300 years.
No, that's depressing.
Yeah, it's
that's why
depressing.
we need everybody to read the book. Yes. Okay, so just to tease you a little bit more, there's like 60 pages in this chapter, and it is full of personal assessments and hypothetical scenarios and concrete suggestions and tips for what you can do and what you can share with the men in your lives. So Wendy calls it an evolution to evolve, which I think is very nice. I call
invitation.
Invitation, excuse me. I call it a must read. So
yeah, it is. So if you, it looks like we have more women than men in the course, but thank you men for coming. And so you need to give this to all your guy friends, this section of the book anyway. There are three things that we focus on that come from not only our research in companies, but the research that has been accumulated through places like Lean In and McKinsey, et cetera. And those three complaints or issues that women experience are in three buckets. They feel dismissed, excluded, and that they have to prove themselves over and over again. Mm-hmm. Does that resonate to anybody in the room? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so women, for the most part, aren't listened to, they aren't believed, they're likely to be interrupted, they're likely to have their ideas stolen, and to be talked over. These are real things. And this isn't because men are bad. If you think about, a lot of guys are brought up with competitive sports backgrounds. They're used to stealing the ball from the other guy and running down the field, and then that guy steals it from the other one and they run down the field. In a meeting, they might do that same behavior. And women were trained to include everyone, to be polite, to make sure that all the voices are heard, take our turn. Those are the things we're conditioned to do. So you put these two together, and then you have this situation that's not fair. And so we don't come from that we got to fix the guys because they're bad, but rather we've got to make them first aware of this situation and help them understand some of the context and slow them down enough so that men are really trained to drive and get into action. And we don't want them to run into action. We don't want them to be a hero. We want them to slow down enough to educate themselves about the landscape in meetings, for instance, and with women, and to get curious about how they could interact in a way that's inclusive.
Mm-hmm. So it's